Yeah, welcome. In this session, we are going to be learning about window functions, which is the only thing we haven't touched on in this series as far as um, SQL for data analysis is concerned. That's the only thing that we haven't really touched on. There are a lot of concepts, right? And we've looked at joins, subqueries, the popular stuff, and the only one of those we've seen CTE is also the only one that I feel like we haven't really touched on, and it's quite important is window functions. So yeah, what's window functions? So window functions is a way by which we perform calculation across tables that are related to the current row that we are on, and but you can think of it as kind of like group by, and you've seen group by before. We've covered group by. But the difference between group by and window function is that they do not collapse rows. In group by, what we do is we collapse. For example, if we have something like this, we have excuse me, let's make this smaller a bit. Yeah. So if we have select, let's say country, then let's call that ship country, and we can go average freight to let me say from sales order. Then we go group by, and what are we grouping by? We are grouping by ship country, right? So if we run this, we have this. So this is your normal standard group by way. And what has happened is that we have our sales order. Let me show you this. Our sales order table is a very long table, right, with a lot of information in it, like this. Do you understand? So what we've done is we've collapsed. Okay, let's actually be very explicit. So ship country comma freight, like this. Perfect. So if I run this, so what we did is we took this, this long ship country and freight. We try to find, okay, what does it cost on average to get goods to a particular country. So if I should run this whole thing, let me actually run this whole thing now. So this first result here is the result of this first query, and what we've done is we've grouped each average freight by country, right? And in the second one, it's just me showing you how long this whole thing is. So the difference between window function and the normal group by is that group by collapses the the table in a way. So the information that you want to see is group by collapses the rows. Meanwhile, window function does not do that, and you are going to see it in the example. Even if what I'm saying right now is not that clear, but you are going to see how it is different in the example. So, but one thing that we need to point out is that we need to know, and I feel like if you understand this, the basics of window function is going to be easy for you to wrap your head around, and it is that we have the function part and we have the window part. So that's basically, in my opinion, why they call it window function. So you have the functions, which is like majority of the regular functions that you already know, sum, average. Then you have ones that you've not seen before, something like row number, something like rank, dense rank, and stuff like that. Those are the functions. Then we have the window. So the window that we want to like perform the function on. So something like partition by and stuff like that. And you're going to see that shortly. So let's look at a very simple example. And the first example is going to be let's list all orders with a row number. Something extremely simple. That's what we are going to start with a row number per, let's say, per customer based in the in the table, in the sales order table. Yeah. So what we want to have is we want to have the same stuff, like the same customer ID, you know, let's say order ID and something else. Then we now add row numbers to them, maybe based on the order day, order date. So let's say that per customer based, let's say based on the order date. Something like so. We kind of like want to sort, but instead of just sorting, we want to actually add row number to our sorting. So this is what we want to do. So if I say select and I go cost ID, maybe order ID also, let's just add that in, then order date, then from sales order, sales order, then I could go order by, order date. Now, if I should run this is not actually what we want to do, but it looks like it. So if I should run this, the actual solution to what we want to do is we actually just want to append some row number here so that we say this is the earliest one and it is one, although it is number one, number two, number three, number four. And if we are doing it in descending, let's say I add ds here and I run this, I'm saying that this is the latest order, and that's where I want to start from. I want to start one, two, three, and stuff like that. So how can we do something like this? I mean, I could edit this, but because I want you to like grasp the flow of window function from the beginning, I'm just going to remove this and we start. So you're going to have your normal select cost ID. I think we added order ID, and we also added order date. Order date. Now the next thing we want to add is if I should come here, let's actually make this. Let's go from here. Let's go to the next line here. So here I could go. Let's take this whole thing to the next line. I feel like it's going to be better that way. Yeah. So order ID, order date. Then I could come here and say row number, which is actually a function. You know, like I explained earlier, there is a window and there is a function part. So I say row number, then we set up the window and say over. Now, in this case, what we want to say is we want to say if I should come here and say row number and I say order by order date, then we close that as um maybe order rank, I guess. Then we come here and say from sales order and we run this. Perfect. Says unknown column. Okay, we are missing the area order date. So we run that again. Now look at what has happened. What has happened is we've gotten an order rank column appended to each of these rows that we've sorted in ascending order. Let me take that again. Like these three columns here, they are like the same thing that you saw earlier, the exact same thing. But the difference is that we are just adding a rank, we're adding row numbers to this thing. And how are we able to do that? It is very simple. What we did is, let me move this down a bit. I don't want to remove that result set. So we selected customer ID, order date. Then we added this row number, which is the function that we want to call. The function that adds row number. And on top of what window do we want to do that? So it is going to be over. Then we say what we want to do, order by, order date, right? And the order by thing is actually not important. It's just to sort it. And basically, this over is the window part, and a lot of things can go in there. The partition, partition is what we use to do the grouping. Order by is what we use to do the ordering, and whatever we want to do in terms of how we want to undo the window aspect of things, we go into the over. So if not, for example, look at this. Now, if I should run that, now what you are seeing right now, it still works. Let me show you. But now there is really no ordering happening in terms of order date. The ordering that you are seeing happening here is in terms of the order ID. So you see 10248, which is going to be the primary key. So whatever primary key is in here, which is basically the rule of SQL, is what's going to happen here. So it is 10248, 10249, 10250, like that. And the reason why it looks like you are seeing the date ordering thing here is because in the sales table, as we had ordered people, somebody orders, another person is going to come after that. It's not possible that we record before that. So as order ID progresses, order date progresses with it, like gets larger with it. But if you do not add anything here, it is just going to perform that particular operation based on the order ID. And the reason why we added order by, we could do order by anything, customer ID, you know, order date, whatever it is I want to do. So, and whether ascending or descending, you can also do that. So if I should run this, we get descending order. That is, we are starting from the latest order all the way down. So don't forget, window function is really not hard. It is just two components: the function that you want to call and the window that you want to like call it over. And you're going to see. Let's take this second example to see how that works again to learn more things. So we are going to come here and say question 2 or query 2. We are going to be taking this exact one, but we will actually solve this whole thing because we didn't add per customer. I just wanted to okay, let me copy this and remove this per customer. So it's basically this one is for the solution of list all orders with a row number based on the order date. So if I should paste this here, question to list all orders with a row number per customer. So we are not just lumping everything together. We want it to be per each of those customers. So if I should come here, I'm going to say select. Then we can go to the next line and say let's go customer ID. So we go cost ID, order ID, order date, comma the same row number, sorry, and we add our window over. And in our over, what we are going to have there is, I just want to add this for more clarity. That's why I did that. So we're going to say over, and the first thing we do is we partition, we group by. The way we do group by in a window function is partition by. So we say over partition by. Then what are we grouping by? We are grouping by customer ID. Don't forget cost ID. Then the next one is we want to do order it. So we say order by. That's to satisfy this based on the order date. Order by, order date, maybe in descending order, so that we start from the last thing that person bought all the way down. Then you can see as, let's call that one order rank. I don't know, order customer rank, whatever. It's just an alias. Then where are we getting all of this from? We are getting it from sales order. Then we can stop there and run this. Now, look at how this is going to be different. The way this is going to be different is this. First thing is we take customer one. Can you see? We've grouped this thing. I told you that I mentioned earlier that partition by is our way of doing group by in customer ID. And I mentioned also earlier at the beginning of the session that window function basically also has the ability to do um, grouping, and which is what majority of people use it for actually. But the kind of grouping that we do there does not collapse the rows. We do not collapse rows. So in this case here, what we do is we are taking every occurrence of um customer one, everything that customer one bought here. So we say customer one, what's the last thing he bought? We rank that as one. Then the next thing he bought, two. Then the next thing up till like the earliest thing he bought. So he has six orders that he has gotten from us. He has gotten six things from us, and the last one he bought was this one from 2007. Then we now move to customer two, customer three, customer four, like that, like that. So that is basically what happens. Now, earlier in the example that we took, firstly, the first example that we took, you're going to see that we didn't have something like this where we are grouping customer ID. It's just like everybody, we lumped everybody together. And, okay, what is the latest order? Then assign numbers to those. But in this case, because of the fact that we have this partition by, this is the reason why this worked the way it is. We group by customer ID. We order by each group. We order each group of the customer ID by order date, and we assign road number from one to their earliest, their latest. No, is it earliest or latest? Their earliest order. Now that is that. Let's take another one. Let's look at another function entirely. So three, we are going to look at rank, and there's rank. There's also dense rank. So rank, when you use ordinary rank, we're actually doing something called ranking with gaps. We are going to see how that works now. So let's see this question. We are going to rank employees by number of orders they handled. By number of orders they handled. So we are going to come here and we say select. And this is also going to be an opportunity for us to see how we can, combine group by with um, window function. So we start with employee ID. We could actually go ahead and add joins to this one, but I don't want us to complicate it too much. It is not going to be complex really, but I just want us to get the gist of what we are doing. So employee ID, comma, then we can count that we counting number of orders that the handled. So that's going to be order ID as total orders. It's called that total orders. You already know how this works from group by. The next for us to do is to do rank. So we are going to rank, which is the function. Now let's define the window now. So we're going to say over, and over what? First thing is we are going to order. Well, let me just put it in here. So rank order by. What are we going to order by? We are going to be ordering by total orders, but because you cannot do because from and where and all of that executes before select, we really should not call this particular alias here. So we are going to call the whole function as we say rank by order ID. Then we're going to say descending. Then we can say as employee, let's just say MP rank, that is the rank of each of the orders of all of these employee. Then we can say from sales order. Then we can go group by employee ID. So if we come in here and we run this, let's see, great. So we see employee 4 had the most order, 156, and we give this one rank 1. Employee 3 next, 127 rank 2, like that. So basically that's what we've done, and I hope that makes sense. And how have we done this? The way we've done this is, if we had removed this particular line here, if we remove this particular line here, what we are going to have is just these two columns, employee ID Let me do that actually. Control X, and we run this. Now look at what is going to come out like. Can you see? This employee, okay, we need to sort it in descending. Oh, we need to order by. For you to just see, if I say order by DSC and I run order by total orders DSC and I run this. Perfect. So we see it's basically like the same thing that you saw earlier, and it's just employee ID and the number of stuff that they are responsible for. But for us to be able to actually assign rank to this, okay, this is the first person, this is the second person, this is the third person, in terms of the number of orders, what do? We come into this place and we add this our rank and stuff. So if I should run that now, we get this again. So this employee rank. And the difference between rank and dense rank is that, you know, with rank you have rank gaps, right? That is, if there is a tie, it is going to do 1 2 2 thing, but dense rank does not do that. And you're going, I don't even know if we have an example that can show that, but let's go to number 4. Let me show you this same thing with, let's see, you're not going to see it here. Let's run this again and see. We do not have anybody. We don't. So let me see if we are going to have something like that. If we switch this to country, let's do ship country. There should be some countries where we have some tie. Let's do ship country here. Then we run this. There should be some countries. Oh, great. So this is what I was trying to say. Look at Mexico. Mexico has 28 total orders. Italy has 28 total orders. And the rank of both is what? 10. It says Mexico 28 10, Italy 28 10. Then Spain, which is going to be the next one, gets assigned what? 12. Now look at the way dense rank is going to do it. If I copy the exact same code, and say for use dense rank, and like I said earlier, dense rank just do it without gaps. That is the 10 10 12 that you saw earlier. It's not going to be like that. So if I should paste this and add dense rank like this, and run it. So if we go to that Mexico and where is it? Where is Mexico? Okay, this is it here. So you see, okay, let's check. Right, perfect. So here we see it means there might actually, okay, yeah, sorry. In the one that we saw earlier, the tie actually started from 1, and for some reason we didn't see that. Let's go back and check here. For some reason we didn't see that. Let me run that again. Ah, yeah. So this is it here. Just for ranks now. We have 1 1 3. Now, if you look at the case of dense rank here, we have 1 1 2. So there's not going to be a gap. 1, then there's a tie, 1 again. Then the next one is not going to be 3, it's going to be 1. Then in the case of Mexico and this one also, it is going to be 9 9 10 instead of 9 9 12. Instead of 9 9 11, excuse me, instead of 9 9 9 11. So it's going to be 9 9 and 10. So that's the only difference that exists between rank and dense rank. And it depends on what you want to see. What you want to see. Now let's look at something that is a bit different, and that is going to be the number 5 here. And we are going to use sum, one of these aggregation functions, sum, average, and all of that. So we're going to show the cumulative order value. No, let's just do freight value. Cumulative freight value. fright value for each, should we do for each customer over time, how much each customer has paid in fright value over time. So we say select. And the reason I'm choosing examples like this is I don't want to go across tables. I don't want to incorporate joins with this so that it does not look more complex than it is supposed to be. It's really a very simple concept. So we say select cost ID, then we go order ID, then order date. There's a that also. Then can come here and say sum. And sum of what? This is an aggregation function. Normally, your aggregation functions will take parameters, will take the column. So we say fright. So the reason why we've not been doing that is because things rank, road number, they don't really need parameters. So we say fright, then over. So what are we going to partition by? So we come here and we open this and we say, let's go to the next line. We can say partition by. What are we partitioning by? This is going to be customer ID, cost ID. Then we can order it. You don't necessarily have to do that, but it makes sense to do it. Order by order date, since we are looking at their stuff over time. So we can, this is going to be ASC. Start from the first order, add the freight of the next order, then the next freight of the next order for that particular customer. You can add ASC or not. Let me just add that. Then we can close this, we see as running total, running freight. I don't know if I'm correct that spelling of freight, but then I'm not correct. But it's an alias, it will work. So running freight total. Then can come here and say from sales order. Then we can run this. Now what we see here is, you see, for customer one, first order that they sold was this 29.46. Then the next order that they sold, in fact I should add this here. I should add comma freight here. Freight, so that it's going to be easier to explain this concept. Then now see, so freight is 29.46, running freight as at that point also is 29.46 because 0 plus 29.46 is 29.46. Then next one is 90.48. And how did we get that? 29.46 plus 61.2 gives us this. Then keep adding that till we get to the final one for customer one, which is 22.58. So if you should go in this place and write select whatever, then you group customer ID by group freight by customer ID. You are going to have customer one, and the value of that is going to be 225.58. Right? So that is the difference. That like again shows the difference between how group buy works and how other buy works. So instead of collapsing things here, we are just actually displaying how everything moves from the first one, from the first person up to this place. From the first order by the first person here up to their last order, instead of just displaying the total of their last order. So yeah, that basically is another application of window function. And this can be anything really, can be sum, can be average, can be whatever it is you want to do, any other function that you want to look at. So let's look at the last one basically. And last one that we're going to be looking at is, we're going to be looking at lag. We're going to be looking at lag. So there is lag, there is lead in window functions, and I'm going to be showing you how that works with a very very simple example. So how does lag works? Let's make that one example 6. It's going to be example 6. And we're going to say, let me think. Example, okay. So we can just show changes in fright between this and previous order per customer. So we are going to show the current fright and fright from the previous order. Like it's just a way of calculating like difference. If I had wanted to like write city with this, we could do like, okay, for the month, for the previous month and the next month, what's like the difference? Maybe we could write that if our time is not fast spent. But let's look at this very simple example. So basically we just want to get differences in order, the current order and the previous order. So if we do select, then we can go custom cost ID, order ID, freight, then we just lag freight, say lag freight, go over, then we can partition by cost ID. Let's take this to the next line. It's going to help to do that. Order by order date as previous freight from sales order. So it's easy. It's just everything is the same theme, right? Your function and the window. So if we run this now, the first one is like there's no preceding one, so that's going to be null. Like there's no previous right, so that's going to be null. Then the difference between 61 and 29.46, that is the sorry, the preceding one is going to be 29.46 in this case. The preceding one here is going to be 61.02, then like that. And if we want to like get that, we can actually get our difference here. We can get our difference in this case. You can either, wrap all of this in a CTE, or you can use a subquery in a from clause. You can use subquery in from clause. So this is what I mean. If you want to edit that, let me just make this 5. And I hope this next one that I want to do is not going to be confusing. 6, let's just say clean it up and get a difference. Difference in current and previous order. Difference between current and previous order. So if we copy, in this query, we copy this whole thing, paste it here. So we can actually either make this a CTE, right? So we can go with, I feel like CTE is going to be easier. We can call this one with CTE1 as this. Then I'm going to open this bracket, close this one here. Then I can go CTE2. I don't think we can subtract null, but let's try it. If you can subtract null, Then what we are doing is going to work. So I can say, I can add a comma here and say select cost ID, cost ID, comma, order ID, comma, freight, comma, no, the freight, yeah. Then I can do previous freight just to show that also. Previous freight, then comma, freight minus previous freight as difference, as difference like this. Then I can go from city underscore one. Then when I end this, we have errors. Where is the error coming from? Let's check. Hold on. Let me just remove all of this first. Control X, and we say with city one as, I can come here. Let's go back up here. Then I can come here and say select star from city one. City one. Okay, that worked. So if I should run this, perfect, it worked. So, oh, the command that we had here earlier is for when we want to like create another new city, which is not what we want to do. Let's say we have more than one city. So this is not going to be like that. Then this one needs to go. I hope it's not confusing yet. The error that we had from earlier is because if you want to define another city, you have to add comma another city. But if you are not defining another city, if you just want to query the first city that you created, you're just supposed to move on and just call it here. Close the bracket and just call it here. So let's see. I'm expecting an error because I don't know if it is possible. I know that we are not supposed to be able to do is an integer minus null thing. So let's check. Unknown column previous right. That's different. That's not the error that we are expecting. So previous right. Let's run this. Oh, perfect. So it allowed us, in places like Python, I think if you do this in Python, it's going to throw an error. But it worked here. So you see that 29 minus null returns null because, I mean, we don't know what null is. So there's no difference here. Then 61 minus this gives us this. 23, just like us actually getting difference between this sales here and this freight cost here and the freight cost from the preceding month. And you could do this for something like, month, different months. You want to see what you are making, whether the preceding month, like what's the difference between the preceding month and, the month that you are on currently. And it's going to work. And all of these things, I mean, we could keep writing them, but then this video is going to get really long. So I hope window function makes sense from I've tried to present it. And the important thing is there's going to be a function, and that's basically why, in my opinion, they call it window function. There's going to be a function, and there's going to be a window, you know, that you are like applying the function over. So yeah, that is that, and I am going to see you in the next one. And in the next one, we are going to try to actually practice. We're going to solve a few SQL problems. So I'm going to explain more on that in that particular video. And the whole idea is to not get stuck in tutorial L. Whenever you learn something, one, you try to build something with what you've learned, or you try to at least, I don't know, solve questions. Just try to solve some problems based on what you learn so that you can actually apply your knowledge. So thank you very much. See you in the next one. Bye.